Polish President Andrzej Duda said in an interview with Bloomberg News Agency on Friday that Poland should seek to be part of the French nuclear deterrent system and to be part of the U.S. nuclear sharing program. He stressed that it is in the North Atlantic Alliance's interest to expand these programs because of Russian actions. The president also noted that the size of the U.S. military in Poland will not be reduced. President Andrzej Duda, in an interview with Bloomberg Agency, dispelled any speculation about a reduction in the size of the U.S. contingent in Poland. I have absolutely no indication that the size of the U.S. military will be reduced in Poland. On the contrary. I fully agree with President Andrzej Duda's opinion that unilateral reductions of conventional forces in Europe do not make sense because they violate the temporary balance of military forces. Reductions of U.S. troops in Europe would only make sense if Russia reduced its forces on its side. And we know very well that this will not happen because Russia will only increase its military strength. That's why Polish President Andrzej Duda, when asked about Poland's inclusion in U.S. nuclear protection programs like nuclear sharing or the French nuclear umbrella, straightforwardly stated, "We are able to accept both solutions," adding that the two ideas are neither contradictory nor mutually exclusive. They can function simultaneously. We are in such a situation that I have at my disposal two nuclear sharing scenarios and a protective umbrella from the French government, so there is a lot to choose from. Until recently, we didn't have this, and it's as if the momentum, the acceleration in this direction is due to the United Right government. This must be emphasized at every step. Placing the U.S. Army Corps Command in Poland, in addition to practical issues, was an important symbol. It signified the permanent stationing of American forces in Poland. On top of that, U.S. President Donald Trump himself praised our country for its cooperation.
I'm very committed to Poland. I think Poland has really stepped up and done a great job for NATO. As you know, they paid more than they had to. They are one of the finest groups of people I've ever known. I'm very committed to Poland.
Defense nuclear programs are of strategic importance to our country. Europe will be safe when there is a balance of military potentials between NATO countries and Russia. At the moment, there is no such balance. Nuclear weapons are not stationed on Polish territory. We only have conventional forces. On the other hand, in the Kaliningrad region, Russia deploys aircraft, nuclear weapons carriers, and launchers of Iskander missiles, which are also armed with nuclear weapons. This shows that it's high time to rapidly strengthen NATO's eastern flank. The last 3 years are real question marks as to whether Putin will stop in Transnistria or whether he will want to cross the river, which is already very close to our territory in the east, and maybe soon the Bug River. So equalizing military potentials only works in our favor. In an interview with a U.S. agency, President Andrzej Duda also mentioned the 3 Seas initiative. The 3 Seas initiative, as a transnational geopolitical project, is of interest to the American side. The Donald Trump administration, earlier also Joe Biden, looked at it positively in some way. Besides, as this project was already gaining momentum, other countries from the western part of Europe came forward at that time. And the United Right government and President Andrzej Duda were making sure that the Polish army was fully equipped and prepared for any scenario. The upcoming presidential election in Poland is also a choice between a Poland that is secure with a strong American ally and a Poland that is subject to Brussels and German bureaucrats.